Tengo el placer de presentaros la entrevista a Dan Price, CEO de Gravity Payments, que se hizo célebre porque implantó un sueldo mínimo en su empresa de $70.000. Es considerado el mejor jefe de América. Y esta entrevista se realizó el 30 de octubre de 2017 en la Universidad Pontificia Comillas.
You really want me to stand on this thing, don't you? I know what this is all about.
He had all the living rooms.
I've seen this trick. New York Times did the same thing.
Okay, if you're the best boss in the world, how should the best employee of the world should be?
So if you ask anybody that works with me, I'm definitely not the best boss in the world, but I appreciate, so many people around the world, millions of people saying that, and that's really great. I think the thing that I bring to the table is I see the people that I work with as human beings, as people, and I actually think that every worker, every employee should think about how everybody's a person. I think we think of each other as robots or something. Even the CEO is a person. They're not necessarily a good person or a bad person. They're capable of good things, bad things. If we see each other as people first, then I think we can have the right approach. And the number one thing I crave from an employee is blunt, brutal honesty. I want them to notice when we as a company are doing something that's not the best thing we can be doing and hold me accountable. And it's a little bit different paradigm, but somebody who's willing to say when they disagree is the most valuable employee you could have.
Good salary is equal to better company?
I think that I think trying to do the absolute best you can on pay, but on many other issues. Pay is something that can be quantified. So there's a big obsession with it. And the irony is we are trying to pay people enough so that they can live a normal life so that they don't have to think about pay. But the actual thing that makes a good company is purpose, being able to give the employees autonomy to make their own decisions, and giving them a platform for mastery to be able to get better at what they're doing every day and to work hard on something that really matters. That's what creates a good company, and pay only allows you to be a good company because it removes distractions. I consider pay to be something that can hurt you, but never help you. But I think that we remove the hurt by paying everybody enough to be able to live a normal middle-class life.
So what is the salary of CEO should earn?
Right now we have 300 to 1 or even 3,000 to 1 salaries for the CEO compared to the average worker. And many historians have looked back and seen that in many countries today, but also in history, 20 to 1 was plenty of an incentive to have people want to continue to push themselves and progress. And so I think if we had 20 to 1 or 10 to 1, that would probably be fantastic. On the other hand, right now, especially in the United States, it's so bad at hundreds to 1 that even if we could just get it to like 50 to 1 or 40 to 1 or 30 to 1, is that perfect? No, but it'd be a huge improvement. We can't do that overnight, but we need to start going in that direction. The scary thing is it's racing in the opposite direction. The multiple is increasing exponentially every year. And if you look at the political environment, the attitude of people, it's creating a situation where we're having more inequality, not less. And no matter what people think about what I did, I would ask them, do you think there should be more inequality than what there is right now, or less? And I would challenge anybody to dive into the numbers and tell me they think the world would be better off if we had more inequality. There's not a single person that can say that with any credibility.
Two more questions by myself. You founded your company at 19, if I remember wrong. Any advice to entrepreneurs? What would you say?
Start small. Think of somebody you can help. If you want to start a company, start small. Think of somebody you can help. Think of something you can do to make a difference. The way I started my company was my band used to play in a coffee shop. And the coffee shop owner was complaining to me about how her computer system and her credit card processing was really messed up. She didn't like it. So I stayed up all night researching and learned all about how to try to make it a little bit better and helped her with that. And then she told her friends about me. So don't be thinking that you're going to become Mark Zuckerberg or even Dan Price overnight. Think of something small that you can do that'll be meaningful and ideally that you can get paid for, especially the second, third, fourth time. Maybe even the first or second time, do it for free. Get that valuable experience of doing something on your own, thinking of something yourself that will add value, and don't be afraid to restart as many times as possible. Some entrepreneurs, it's the 7th or 8th idea that they have that actually succeeds. But Mark Zuckerberg never set out to build the biggest social network on the planet. You know, he started out with just his Harvard classmates, building something for them to connect in different ways, some appropriate, some not so appropriate. But start small, and if you're very faithful to it, if you work hard, it can become big over time. So don't go for overnight success. Go for success over 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
How a university like base, a university global, should teach
entrepreneurship,
talent. I mean, how to form the talent for a company like yours.
Yeah, so we have benefited so much from having a great education system, and teachers and educators in general are so undervalued. They deserve so much thanks, recognition, praise, and in my opinion, they deserve a lot more pay than what they receive today, because they have such a huge impact for such a long period of time, but it doesn't always get recognized immediately. It comes over time, and so they don't get the credit. However, I'm very thankful that we have, you know, so many educators out there that are really dedicated to it. What I would ask educators to think about doing is try to find little ways to get away from conformity. Because by necessity, if you have one teacher and 30 or 40 students, you have to, in certain ways, treat all your students the same, which is not the way the business world should work. That's not the way entrepreneurship should work. So even if you can just 5% or 10%, try to decrease the emphasis on conformity and increase the emphasis on autonomy, charting your own path, and like really making a difference based on following that student's passion. That's gonna help. And I would love it if we created a society where an entry-level worker going into the workforce, if they see something wrong, like what happened with Wells Fargo, where there are always fake accounts being created, I would like it if somebody entry-level in their first week learned in college, hey, that's wrong, and I can't stand by and let that happen. I need to say something and stop this from happening. And that's, I think, where we need to evolve to as an education system, is away from acceptance of wrong, away from conformity, and toward only standing for what's right.
How can your experience can help people here studying at ICADE Business School?
Yeah, so my story, I've lived an incredible life, and I feel very lucky, very fortunate. But I've had so many people support me along the way, and I also was born in one of the best times in human history, in one of the richest countries with the most entrepreneurship, and so I've benefited so much from other people sharing with me. And so I just want to share my story, share any kind of information, inspiration, anything I can do to help these students, because I believe that they're the future and they're the ones that are going to change the world and help me accomplish the goal that I care about, which is a complete revolution where business is about making a difference. It's about doing what's right and working together to solve the problems of humanity. Money, of course, is a part of that, but only as a means to an end, because each of us, our bodies have to produce red blood cells to stay alive. But the purpose of our life is not to produce red blood cells, it's to go out there and make a difference. And just like that, a company needs to make money, needs to pay the bills, it might need to make a profit, but the purpose of making a profit is so that it can make a difference, so that it can solve problems. It's not profit for its own sake. And I think, at least in the United States, that idea of business happened in the 1970s or 1980s. And I think we need to turn the tide and remember that a good life and a good company is about serving others. It's not about making money.
Okay. Any questions?
I just have one.
Yeah.
Okay, the last one. You know, in Spain we have, on average, like the boss earns 6 times the employee.
6.
Yeah, on average. So sometimes it's like 20 and
That's the CEO.
Yeah, the boss.
I didn't know.
Yeah, and
It's got to be higher than that.
or I don't know, maybe on average, like the small, we have a lot of small
Yeah.
businesses. So do you think, and we also have a 20% of unemployment rate, do you think it's a way to sort this out, taking out the salary?
I would love it if, I'm sorry, I'm going to look where I was looking before, just for him.
Yeah.
I would love it if we could all be honest with ourselves about the affordability and unemployment we have together as a society, especially youth unemployment. Right now there's a lot of young people who feel like they have to move to London or the United States or someplace like that just to make a decent paycheck, and that sucks away a lot of our best talent here in Madrid, here in Spain, and so we need to try to provide the right platform, the right opportunities for people, and especially young people, and that might mean them starting their own business, that might mean them engaging in international commerce, but it might also mean that current business owners just being honest about the fact that we have a problem that we all need to work on together. I think if you're a business owner out there, you'd be shocked at just being honest with your people, telling them that you're not happy with where you're at right now, but you want to work on getting there together, will help people to progress to that next stage. And I would actually rather be in a company that is worse off but moving in the right direction, as opposed to a company that's better off and moving in the wrong direction. So if we all can agree at least to move in the direction of allowing people to join the middle class, allowing people to be successful, I don't think we need to be a victim of the current circumstance of how little money there is to be made and how high unemployment is right now.
And the last one.
Yep,
Okay.
go ahead, that's fine.
You talk about
He deserved
inequality.
it.
Yeah, inequality.
Yeah.
Do you think that's one of the most important problems we have now with migration?
Can you stand like where you were before just so I can answer to you, even though he's asking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or wherever you were. Is that good?
Like, I think it's one of the main topics, main problems we have nowadays with migrations
Yeah.
all over the world, and also even if you look it deeper for the elections in the United States, like
Yeah.
people who didn't got represented by governments,
Yeah.
they vote for Trump now, this called
Yeah.
white trash.
Yeah.
Do you think it's one of the main problems, and how can we
Yeah.
solve it?
So there's all kinds of a feeling of inequality. Some people are more valuable than other people. I was raised in a Christian home, and what I was taught growing up is that God gave us our value as human beings, and that all of us have that same value, and that we can't do anything. Oh yeah.
Could you start the game, please?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
That's okay. Ready?
Yeah.
It's a huge problem that we have with inequality, and also that we see each other as not as valuable as human beings, depending on what country you're from, what color of skin, how much money you make. All of us have the same value as human beings. I grew up in a Christian family, and my parents taught me that all human beings have a value that was given to them by God, by their Creator. Or maybe if you don't believe in Christianity, or you're not a person of faith, any kind of faith, just we're human beings. We all have so much more in common than we have that separates us, but we let these things like how much money we have, or the color of our skin, or our nationality separate us and trick us into thinking that some people are more important than others. I actually think that if we unite as human beings, we can solve so many of the problems together, and we need to find a way to get over all of these divisions that we have and work together, but still have a maximum amount of freedom and individual liberty for each person within that context of all of us as a society valuing each other and being honest with each other. Good? All right. I'm done.
10 minutes.
Finalizada la entrevista, voy a resumiros en 10 frases el contenido de la misma. Empezamos con las frases. Frase número 1. El consejo que daría Dan a un joven emprendedor es que empiece con algo pequeño, sirviendo muy bien a pequeños clientes, incluso trabajando gratis las primeras veces, en lugar de intentar levantar un gran capital. No hay que ir en busca del pelotazo. Frase número 2. No es recomendable buscar el éxito rápido, que normalmente es efímero y muchas veces hasta inmoral. Frase número 3. Todos los empleados de una empresa, incluso el CEO, somos personas. Todos tenemos un valor como seres humanos y merecemos ser tratados con dignidad y respeto. No es verdad que haya personas mucho más importantes que otras. Frase número 4. El mejor empleado es aquel que se comporta con honradez, que es sincero consigo mismo y con los demás y que intenta ser todos los días la mejor versión de sí mismo. Frase número 5. Una gran empresa es aquella en la que hay una misión clara, un propósito que inspira a las personas que trabajan en ella y en la que se facilitan los medios y la autonomía necesaria para que esas personas crezcan y se desarrollen. Frase número 6. El hecho de pagar un salario mínimo de $70.000 lo que hace es eliminar las preocupaciones del día a día de los empleados, liberándoles de modo que puedan dar lo mejor de sí mismos. Imagínate ahora que tu jefe tomara una decisión de este tipo. ¿Cómo cambiaría tu vida? Frase número 7. No tiene sentido que un CEO gane cientos de veces lo que gana un empleado medio. El problema es que este múltiplo está creciendo todos los años, por lo menos en Estados Unidos. Lo razonable es que un CEO ganara entre 10 y 30 veces lo que un empleado medio. Tenemos que avanzar hacia una menor desigualdad, no hacia una mayor desigualdad. Frase número 8. Me gustaría que en los colegios y en las universidades se enseñara a los estudiantes a no conformarse, a tener autonomía, a ser responsables de sí mismos para lograr un impacto positivo en la sociedad. Frase número 9. Vivimos en un momento de la historia con enormes oportunidades para las personas y empresas para lograr resolver los problemas de la humanidad y marcar la diferencia. Y frase número 10. Crear negocios y fomentar el emprendimiento puede ser una vía para disminuir el desempleo y evitar que el talento huya de países como España, que por desgracia tiene una tasa de paro muy alta, y bien que la sufrimos. Estas han sido las 10 frases que he extraído de la entrevista de Dan Price. Os quiero dar las gracias por haber visto este vídeo y si quieres más contenidos puedes suscribirte al canal de YouTube de LinkedIn Doctor, donde encontrarás más contenidos y más información valiosa para mejorar tu perfil LinkedIn. Muchas gracias y hasta el siguiente vídeo.